The Republican National Committee was coming to town. You had, campaigned for Al Franken. You'd done Democratic campaigns.
Oh, I had a ball.
And you used to talk with this guy at work about, what did you tell him about what you were or weren't going to do with the Republican National Convention?
Oh, I said I was going to go out there, to see what's going on, because I've always been the kind of person that wishes he was at Woodstock, or wishes he could have witnessed some big event that turned out to be historical. And I said, you never know what's going to happen, at the RNC. So I'd like to be there and witness history. I'm a liberal. I guess I'm not a far leftist or anything like that. I'm a liberal Democrat, and I get involved with campaigns occasionally, not often. And I just thought I'd go out there out of interest.
Did you get involved with any radical protest groups?
I didn't even, not only not radical, I didn't get involved in any groups.
Did you protest? Did you shout at delegates?
No, didn't even do that.
Did you throw stones at delegates? Did you light fires in trash cans in the streets?
Fires? No, of course not. Of course not.
So what did you do?
I didn't do anything. I fantasize about being more involved politically, but I have never been that involved politically. I have my views, and that's it.
So what could you have said to this coworker that made him report to authorities that you seemed to be linked with these radical protesters?
I think he had never met someone who could match his arguments so well with logic, and it bothered him.
What do you mean?
In other words, when we had discussions, he would give me the Limbaugh version or the Hannity version, and I'd set him straight with facts. And I think that just rubbed him the wrong way, and he just thought if there was an opportunity, because he's talking about going to the RNC, I think the boss might be interested in that.
And then this other thing that happened, one of the other things that happened, is that you posted a note about Satan's trash can.
Yeah. There's a trash can that we had behind the counter, actually is off to the side. And the trash can was notorious for being just it stunk up the whole area. It was just terrible. And so I wrote a little post-it that said, we have to obliterate this trash can, nuclear obliteration, send it to hell where it belongs, something like that. And then, I don't know if it was the next day or whatever, the big boss called me into his office, and I had no idea what this is about. And he brought up the fact of this note, and I looked him in the eye like, are you serious? What? And he looked at me like, what are you thinking writing a note like that? And I confronted him back. What are you thinking? Could anyone in their right mind possibly take such an outrageous note seriously? Are you crazy? He got angry at me. He walked out the door because he knew I was right.
And then security calls you down
the depths of the Mall of America, into the basement, security, the area that they hold shoplifters or whatever. It's sort of the jail, and the room next to it is a sort of interrogation room. And they asked me, so tell me about yourself. Are you politically involved? And now I realize I'm speaking, like I said, it's like talking to a lawyer who is not representing you, and I had to be very careful. And I sort of took the attitude of, what is this about? Why are you asking these questions? I was very honest with them. And basically it ended, to my recollection, it ended with the RNC. Were you planning on going to it? Are you involved? No, absolutely not. No involvement whatsoever. So, and then they would ask me, do you ever get emails? And do you ever respond to emails with regard to any kind of radical groups? And I said, emails come all the time from all kinds of places, even from the right. I never answer them. It's a waste of time. It's spam. So the questions were pretty outrageous. It ended about 10 minutes later. And then I'm leaving thinking, what did they get out of this? I thought to myself, first of all, they're going to fire me. And I had no idea why. But no, they just ended it abruptly and said, okay, thank you. And I walked out of there just bewildered. Plus, I thought there's another shoe to drop. And I don't know by whom. If it was going to be by my management or it was going to be by an investigator or what.
We've shown you the report at the top of it, all about you. You were leafing through the pages. It says suspicious person.
I am such an average person with a strong sense of humor. I'm not politically deep. I wish I was more politically involved, but I never really have been. I have no hidden agendas of any kind in my life. I'm very much on the surface.
Going through this report that we showed you for the first time, what has your reaction been reading this document?
When I see that, I think to myself, if they can respond this way to me, they can respond to literally every single American in the same way. And I was chosen because of having a conversation, political conversation with a coworker. It seemed so outrageously and off the charts ridiculous. I thought anyone could be chosen for the most outrageous little act, depending on where they work and the sensitivity of the issue, and be pulled out and considered suspicious. I recall a time after 9/11 when everyone was extremely concerned because we didn't know where the threat was really coming from yet. And there was a sense that we were at war and we weren't clear on who the enemy even was. So for quite a while, we were watching every building. We're looking for every amusement park, any gathering. We have to have a sense of security, but I'm not clear on where the line is drawn.